Good morning.
Good morning.
We have been emphasizing the feminine principle this month. The feminine principle is an aspect of God, and we all partake of this aspect as we do all aspects of God, our Creator. In thinking about the feminine principle this week, I was immediately drawn to the word unconditional love. And that took me kind of on a memory trip back to my mother. And I think we all feel mothers have unconditional love. And included in that memory was the principle of forgiveness. In my mind, the feminine principle aspect of God and unconditional love and my mother and forgiveness all were kind of interwoven. My mother was a calm, gentle woman. If you would have mentioned forgiveness to her, she probably would have said something like, "But what's to forgive?" My mother saw no wrong in anybody or anything. When as a child I would bring home a broken toy or a broken ego for her to fix, she would gently remind me that there was nothing that needed to be fixed that was important, and important meant real to her, because important, real, could not be broken. She would mend my toy, wipe away my tears from the bruised ego, but it took me years to figure out that she was not looking at the world that we see through with our human eyes. She meant something else, something within us. Forgiveness at the level of humanity wasn't a concept for her because it involved judgment, something that she knew nothing about. At least in my mind, she was incapable of seeing anything bad in anyone, including me. I mean, I could have been a mass murderer, and her response would have been something like questioning as to why I was causing myself so much pain. It was just not in her nature. She was a devout Catholic her entire life. She carried Jesus and the Holy Spirit around in her heart. She was diagnosed with cancer and left her earthly body just a few months after her diagnosis. She knew she was going home, and she had no fear about that dying process at all. As a matter of fact, her devotional prayers often were about gratitude. During her last months, she had very little pain. And her biggest concern, it seemed to me, was that she was leaving this world with her job undone. Her job, in her mind, was to help my father, who needed 24/7 care. In fact, she did finish her job. She had to leave this world in order for me to take over the caregiving responsibilities of my father and thus learn about forgiveness. What I learned was that as soon as I stopped projecting my fear and anger and anguish, my lack onto my father, he became a beautiful person. When I was able to forgive him for what I had projected onto him, I was then able to forgive myself. And that's how forgiveness works. We can't forgive ourselves or anyone else without the entire sonship of which we are a part benefiting, because we are all one. So forgiveness is how we return to love, to God.